What is up, studs, and welcome to Ask Mandrproductions episode 346, the series where I answer your questions. So if you have a question or topic that you want answered on next week's episode, drop it in the comment section below. Hit the like button while you're there. And we got a lot of great topics today, including what this year's May 4th promo is supposed to be, which is pretty insane. So let's get into it with our first question here from Cameron, who says, how do you feel about LEGO getting the IP for Pokemon? I sort of feel like this is a double-edged sword. As LEGO gets more and more Nintendo IPs, they also inch closer to a monopoly, or at the very least, snuffing out competition. But I think LEGO will do Pokemon very well. And I got lots of questions about the LEGO Pokemon announcement that happened recently. So LEGO did officially announce this, that they are getting the Pokemon license in 2026, which was crazy unexpected for a lot of people. And so the reason I specifically picked this guy's question over everyone else's is because he used the word monopoly. Great game, but maybe not what you want if you're a LEGO fan that wants to see LEGO actually do better with certain things. Because if LEGO has no competition, they're a monopoly, then that's bad for us as fans because they'll raise prices, they'll reduce quality. That's at least what, most people think of happening when something becomes a monopoly. But LEGO has also, for the most part, always been in a position where they have 90, 95, 99% of the market share of building block toys. I don't know what it is exactly, but we all can see if you go down the LEGO aisles at Target that they have 3.5 aisles or walls of LEGO plus the end caps. And then you got little mega constructs, you got a little builder block section now, but it's generally all LEGO. And so here's how I feel about LEGO possibly being a monopoly, right? And I feel the same way about Apple. I'm obviously a big LEGO fan, although I have some real holdbacks on how I feel about LEGO because of a lot of reasons, but I'm still a big LEGO fan. I'm also a big Apple guy. Love Apple. There's a whole scenario with Apple and Epic Games and their Fortnite item store. And so there's something where Apple takes 30% of whatever Epic Games sells on the App Store. And Epic Games was trying to argue that this was a monopoly that Apple had with their App Store on their phone. And I completely disagree with that. I think that Apple made their phone and people decided to buy their phone because they made a superior product that people liked. And it's completely Apple's game to have whatever fees they want on their platform. It sucks as much as it does, but I would not call it a monopoly and something that should be illegal, right? They built the platform from the ground up. Why can't they reap the benefits of that? And so I kind of feel the same way about LEGO here, although I would like to very much see them get something taken out of their armor, right? I'd like to see them taken down a notch at this point in my life, just the way I feel about it. Yeah, I'd like to see them have a reason to go and make a lot of things better. And so from that point of view, I wish it wasn't happening, right? I wish Pokemon was staying with Mega Constructs, and I wish that they were going to continue to be able to build their brand separately from LEGO. I also feel like LEGO's not doing anything wrong here. They're continuing to build their business, build their brand with Pokemon, and it's obviously a very sensible connection of things here. I think it will also be crazy. People have this misconception that scalpers are a problem in the LEGO community. They really aren't. Scalping generally is not a very big problem in the LEGO community. Certainly not in the way that people tend to represent it. You know what I mean? It is a problem with Pokemon cards, a big, big problem. And so I wonder, because LEGO is such a bigger brand than Mega Constructs, with LEGO doing Pokemon sets, even if, let's say, LEGO released the exact same sets that Mega Constructs released, they would just be more hyped. They would have more people trying to get them, and therefore it's going to draw in the scalper crowd that goes around buying Pokemon cards. My question to many people when they say that LEGO scalping is a problem would be, when is the last time you saw a video of someone punching, arguing, fighting with someone on any LEGO store in any LEGO aisle ever? I've never ever seen a video of people fighting over a LEGO set. I have seen videos of people fighting over Pokemon cards. It's just that simple to me. It's just not, it's apples to oranges there. So the thing I kind of fear out of this partnership is bringing a lot of that energy into the LEGO space and LEGO release days that certainly does not exist right now. It may literally change how LEGO sets are released. Now, LEGO's release patterns with their stuff versus Pokemon cards is much better. LEGO does a much better job of getting stuff out there, but who knows what could happen with this. So what if they put Pokemon cards in the sets? That's going to be nuts, right? Now, personally, I saw some people asking if I would review them, if I would buy them. I have no connection to Pokemon. I grew up a Yu-Gi-Oh kid. If they did LEGO Yu-Gi-Oh, just because of my childhood connection, I would probably buy it, but I otherwise have very little interest in LEGO Pokemon outside of oh, that's interesting that they're doing it, but yeah, I'm not probably going to buy it unless there's something crazy about it that makes me want to try it out. I did enjoy the Mega Constructs big Ash and Pikachu set that they sent me like a year ago. That was cool. They like literally sent it to me for free to review, and I enjoyed that. It was cool, but I'm just not into Pokemon enough to care about it, if that makes sense, or to love it, you know, the way that or cherish it maybe is a better way to say it. So I'm sure Pokemon will be nice. I'm sure they'll do a good job. Minifigs or not is a big question, right? Because they didn't do minifigs with Mario. I would hope they do minifigs with Pokemon. So anyway, I know a lot of Pokemon talk up front, but before we get to the May 4th promo, we got a little more Jango Fett talk. Joe Dover says, why did LEGO originally use the violet color on the OG Jango Fett, even though they used the blue on the helmet print? And violet is the correct color for Jango Fett, technically. I think if you look really close in the movies and certainly at the like nice pictures that they have out from Lucasfilm, the violet, a purple-ish blue is more the color of Jango Fett's like undersuit and Boba Fett's undersuit. But obviously in LEGO, that color doesn't really exist anymore, and so they stopped using it after that first Jango Fett, and so then they were using dark blue for a long time. Certainly on the young Boba arms, Jango Fett switched over to an all sand blue, and that color became more prominent for LEGO. But yeah, it's one of those weird scenarios in the early years where they actually had a better color than they have now, and unfortunately just weren't able to continue to use that. And so Daffy Duck has a very astute observation, one that was cut out of my edit from last week, and I should have kept it in. Daffy Duck Fan Club says, in reference to the material you provided, Boba's arms are the exact same color as Jango's suit, so the new arms are accurate unless you think Jango should have dark blue arms. And this is the line of thinking that I think the designer used to reason why Boba Fett, young Boba Fett, should have these light blue arms. And I will say this right now, everything that we've had leaked for the Jango Fett and the Boba Fett's all correct. It's all exactly what it's going to be. The young Boba's hair is going to be that. The arms are going to be that bad color. It's all going to be as bad as it looks, right? So just be prepared for that. Now, when it comes to what he said here, like the new arms are accurate. That's incorrect. That is factually wrong. The new arms are not accurate. The new arms match the inaccuracy of the Jango Fett, which most people have basically hand waved away over the years, because that one is like, what are you going to do? You can't make it purple. They don't have the color right now. They could, they should maybe make it. I don't know, but who knows what a Jango Fett would look like in that color. And most people are very okay with the way that Jango Fett looked. And in the same breath, everyone was very happy with the way that young Boba Fett looked with his darker blue arms. So yeah, I can see where the minifig guy is coming from on this, but I think it was a very bad decision. Already, Jango Fett was inaccurate to the source material, right? And not in a horrible, bad way that people were losing their minds over, just factually inaccurate without the darker blue color underneath. And then he goes and makes the young Boba inaccurate to match the inaccuracy of the other figure. Like, it makes no sense to me why we would do that. Like, it's okay to have one, now we gotta have two, like, why are we doing it like this? So looking in the book here, and this new book is available on MandRshop.com for like 28% off if you want one, by the way. The way that they make the minifigs, they show and they describe that designers place images of the movie costumes on the design sheets to check for accuracy. They happen to have an image, and I'll zoom in here, an image of every 2013 figure and some of the other assets or planet sets and things you can see there. It just so happens that a young Boba came out that year, and you can see they use the exact reference images that we basically have. And you can tell that the young Boba's arms are a dark blue / very dark bluish purple, right? And so to me, with that in mind, seeing that, there's zero excuse for this young Boba Fett to have the sand blue arms. Just because it was thought up at one point, hey, this would make sense if we reason it this way, doesn't mean you have to do it. One more thing, which was crazy, the actor Daniel Logan reposted someone else saying how bad the minifig looked and that it looked nothing like him in the movie. So this is the second time an actor has spoken out about their minifig, and we all know what happened the last time. Lego SW1516, he says, it's so incredibly frustrating to see the young Boba Fett we get in the $300 set, especially when the Hobbits in the Lord of the Rings set all have dual molded legs. When do you think Lego will show respect to the license that saved them? And in reference to the dual molded legs in the Lord of the Rings Hobbit set, right? That's another $230, $300 set. So they're not able to give one minifig dual molded legs in a Star Wars set, but they can give multiple minifigs dual molded legs in a cheaper Lord of the Rings set. And let me do you one better. The minifigs in the gift with purchase for the Lord of the Rings set here are also Hobbits, and they also have dual molded legs. Alex says, are we sure the 327th set is meant to be a battle pack? Seems more along the lines of the 187th set that was also $40. And I'm not sure where else you're drawing any similarities other than the $40 price point, because this new set is definitely going to be a 2-in-1 battle pack. It's very much more like the original 501st battle pack or the Clone and Droids battle pack, and the Clone and Droids battle pack would probably be the closest cousin to it because it's both sides with vehicles or things for both, not like the File First where it just had a couple of droids and no like vehicle or thing for the droids. So yeah, it's very much going to be a $40 battle pack. They're here and they're here to stay because they already did the Stormtrooper and Rebel Trooper one. Now we'll have the 327th and Super Battle Droid one, and I think this one's going to be a pretty horrible value at $40. So just get ready. It's going to be nuts. Our next question, moving on, May 4th. From Jacob, he says, do we have any idea on what the May 4th promo is yet? And we finally do. So it's supposed to be 2 clone cadets and the cadet version of young Boba Fett. So I think this is going to be a Clone Wars set. The torso should be like a light blue, the arm should be the red color, and then obviously like regular kind of clone trooper faces probably for the other 2, and a young Boba Fett face for the young Boba Fett figure. And then the build for it, interestingly, is the clone trooper escape pod. And I thought it was going to be some like Camino based build just based on what I had been hearing, and I'm surprised that it's going to be an escape pod, but the escape pod sounds like a really cool, interesting build, and we're getting a couple of very unique and interesting figures for May 4th promo, so I'm very excited to see. I hope these figures look good. It'd be nice if our promo for May 4th had dual molded legs like the Hobbit promo has dual molded legs. It just feels like such a unique, fun, interesting May 4th promo. I mean, obviously, as long as it's good and executed well and everything's accurate as it's supposed to be. Like, obviously, I say all of these things not having actually seen how good the final product looks. I like these newer May 4th builds with figures, and I think they've maybe found a new recipe that works that one could certainly argue is better than the simple poly bag that I had been hoping for a long time they would go back to. And I think this is also indicative of the idea that we are in a new trend officially for LEGO Star Wars May 4th promotions. We've got a couple years in a row now where we've had a nice build with multiple figures in the same thing. So you can start to look towards future years and start to really guess at what they might do with that in mind. So I'm pretty hyped with that also. James says, do you think LEGO will put the same leaked UCS Jango Fett in the playset releasing later this year like they did with the Captain Rex and the Venator and then in the Y-Wing Microfighter? So the current rumor that I've heard out there is that the Jango Fett is not supposed to be released with the arm printing in the cheaper $70 Slave 1 playset, and therefore the one with arm printing will remain exclusive to the UCS set. Now, they might do the other thing that they've been doing where they release a keychain the next year, so 2026, a Jango Fett keychain would come out, and then you could just pop the arms off and put it on the one that you got in the $70 set, which I think is like a just scummy way to get people to spend $6. Like, either put it in the set or don't. You know, it's kind of dumb to me that they want you to buy it and then buy it again and again. Like, but I guess that's their new business model, right? To get people to spend that extra $5 or $6 more on top of everything else that they're already spending. I can see the argument for why people want it to have the arm printing and that it should be the top quality. And I can get behind that, but what I can't get behind is lying to your customers. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword there. Next question from Kyle. He says, what determines what sets get new pieces, whether helmet or regular piece? So obviously I never worked for LEGO, but I've seen enough out there that I kind of think I have a pretty good understanding of it. So each year, a LEGO theme, let's say Star Wars in this example, gets a certain number of new molds that they are allowed to create. So let's say they can make 10 new molds and they've got 10 new sets coming out. And so they may decide that one set needs 10 new molds to create new pieces, new minifig parts, whatever it may be, and they may allot all 10 to that one set. Obviously, really crazy example, they probably wouldn't do that. But what more likely happens is like, here, this set gets this, that set gets that. And so kind of on a, you know, case-by-case basis, maybe the designers make an argument for why this set needs this mold for this thing. Or, you know, and Ned B, for example, or I guess Ned B, I was thinking 9-Nub, but Ned B or 9-Nub would both need a new mold to create those figures. And so the designers would have to be like, hey, I need this new mold. I'm sure it's not much of an argument to be made or had there. You know, you just obviously need a new mold for characters like that, but maybe in a case like needing a new specific piece that does a certain thing, and I'm sure there's a lot more behind the scenes with LEGO about what this piece is and can it be used for other themes versus something obviously that's going to be specific for Star Wars. So hopefully there's a designer out there that would argue that the clones need a new helmet mold maybe, but yeah, generally they get a certain allotment, and apparently they can also trade these or, you know, try to bum them off another theme. Like if LEGO Creator has an extra mold that they don't need and a Star Wars designer goes to a creator designer and says, hey, can I have your new mold? They can just get it, maybe? I think it somewhat works like that too, which is kind of cool. Wii U Weirdo, weird name, says, is there a LEGO theme that you don't like but wish you did? This is going to be a crazy, crazy take. I kind of feel like Ninjago. I feel like if I was born like 5-6 years later, I would have been really into Ninjago. And I'm glad I'm not. But like, I have some friends that love Ninjago, and I can appreciate their fandom for it. And I see that there is something there that I'm not enjoying. And maybe Bionicle's that other thing. Like, Bionicle very much was kind of the other popular thing with Lego when I was growing up, and I just happened to become attached to Star Wars. But I very well could be a big Bionicle guy too, and I'm just not. So like, Bionicle and Ninjago are the two that are out there that I'm like, yeah, if there was a theme that I kind of wish I was on that bandwagon for, if you will, it would probably be those two. Ninjago, obviously, for its longevity, and obviously a lot of people love the lore and the show, and it's got all that going for it. But Bionicle, just because of, I just, the people that like Bionicle, to me, like, it's a real taste that they have. Like, I don't love Bionicle. I don't care for it. It's not my cup of tea. It might not even be real Lego, in my opinion. I know people love hearing that. But yeah, I see people that love Bionicle, and I think it is like a real cool thing to like. It's just not something that I like. So yeah, I think Bionicle and Ninjago would be the two that I would be on for. TPS Minifig says, how do you manage to balance your YouTube channels, whatnot, MandR shop, and all the other crazy stuff you do? And I feel like I manage it poorly. I try, but yeah, it's very much like many things in life. You learn it as you go. And so it hasn't been the easiest thing as I've expanded what I've been doing, and I keep saying yes to too many things. I got to learn to say no is probably the biggest thing. And also just managing my time. You know, you say other crazy stuff I do. The other stuff outside of that, sometimes this isn't crazy stuff. It's scrolling Instagram reels for way too long, or playing Call of Duty for too long. And so that will throw all of those other things out of whack. But seeing how things have changed, like if you go back 5 years, I'm basically just making YouTube videos and vlogs, and now there's way more going on, and it's insane. Plus, now that I own my own house, like, I'm responsible for a lot more that's going around on a day-to-day basis, you know? So there's other stuff that I have to keep up with that I didn't used to have to consider, like paying for home insurance. I have to, like, pay attention and actually handle that now, and that's, you know, it's maybe an hour of my time for the year, but like, that's an hour that I don't have that I used to have, and all of that, those little things add up. And I think anyone that, you know, is my age and older and has done things would know and understand that. And it's something you might not expect if you're younger, by the way. Like, as you get, just things stack up quickly, and it takes time away quickly. So you just got to be on top of that. Anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button, and get ready next week. Big announcement, something cool coming to MandR Shop, Brickshell, and JB Spielwarren for you international folk out there. So yeah, I don't want to say much more, but it's pretty clear maybe. But yeah, see you guys.